Flanked by the main Gopuram of Virupaksha temple on one end and the monolithic Nandi on the other end, Virupaksha Bazaar is the largest bazaar of Vijayanagara. The Gopuram is 9-storied, 53-meter high and adds elegance to the 732-meter long and 28-meter wide Virupaksha Bazaar. Hampi bazaars were famous and were mentioned by a number of visitors and merchants during their visit to Vijayanagara kingdom. The main bazaar streets were Virupaksha Bazaar Street, Vitthal Bazaar Street, Krishna Bazaar Street, Achutarya Bazaar Street and Pansupari Bazaar Street. Tungabhadra river flows through Hampi, which made Hampi an important center of trade. Cotton, spices, horses and gems were traded, and gold and silver were used as currencies. Before we proceed to something else, we should tell something about Hampi. Well, Hampi is a World Heritage Site that came into existence during the Vijayanagara period. Located over an area of 26 square kilometers and being renowned for its magnificent temples, city layout, the bazaar streets and its activities, most of the structures, Hampi had been designated a World Heritage Site by UNESCO, and the UN agencies were concerned with the preservation of this historic site. In 1999, the agency placed the area on its endangered list, and the state government of Karnataka established a management authority to create a master plan for Hampi's preservation. In July 2011, the district administration authorities of Hampi demolished more than 200 shops located in historic Hampi Bazaar and justified the act by claiming that the shops were illegal encroachments. Many people who had homes attached to the shops were forced to come on streets and to stay without any basic facilities like fooding, shelter, sanitation and clean water. As we enter into one of the structures of the Virupaksha market, we can see that the structure has never been taken care of after the markets were removed. They stand as they were during the Vijayanagara kingdom. Made up of granite stone, which is local to Hampi, the structures were made by placing the stones as we can see in the video. The structures were placed next to each other. If one has to measure the Hampi market, one doesn't need to measure each and every structure of the market. Instead, if one measures only one module and repeats it for the next ones, it would do. Here we can see the arrangements clearly. 4 stones were placed vertically and then horizontal stones were placed on top of them. These horizontal stones acted as beams. Later, the roof was constructed and the structure was made complete. As we moved further towards the other end, we saw this drainage system that ran through the whole of Virupaksha market on both sides. We also saw this astonishing structure in the Hampi market. As one sees this, one would easily consider this to be a basement which would have been used by the shop owners of the Hampi market to store goods or to keep animals. It can also happen that over the time the level of the ground increased and the Vijayanagara people had to make their shops over the previous structures. Well, anything can happen. We have always said that Hampi market was a famous site for traders and merchants from all over the world. One of them, Domingo Pace, a Portuguese trader, had visited the Vijayanagara kingdom in 16th century and described the streets as a street with beautiful houses with balconies and arcades in which are sheltered the pilgrims. And there are houses for the upper classes. The king has a place in the same street in which he resides when he visits the pagoda. Even other traders too mentioned about these markets and said that everything on earth was available here, including citrons, limes, oranges, grapes, even others gems and stones, and many other things. As we moved further, we came to see two types of structures, double-storied and the renovated ones. The ones which were double-storied made us curious over the fact that why are these double-storied and the previous ones are not. Also, we saw that the granite stones used here look much more dressed and good than the previous ones. As for the renovated ones, we had already said that hundreds of people have lost their homes, livelihoods, or both. Their living conditions are far from adequate. Many people have no access to basic needs such as housing, sanitation, medical facilities, and clean water. In addition, after the shops have been demolished, people live with the daily threat of next being forced out of their homes. The notice for eviction was served late in the evening, and evictions took place the very next morning, with police and bulldozers leaving the residents little or no time to challenge the order or take any preventive measures or even to collect their belongings. None of them were given an opportunity to be heard. The persons who had been living in the place for over 40 to 50 years were displaced in a period of one day. They were forcibly evicted, which is in complete violation of established principles of law. Many of the people who have been impacted belong to extremely impoverished backgrounds. There are around 10 families belonging to Lambani community who have barely been able to eke out a living by working as coolies and selling firewood and timber occasionally to tourists. The demolitions of July 2011 were initiated by the Archaeological Survey of India and the state government of Karnataka following an order of the High Court of Karnataka, and the illegal constructions of Hampi Bazaar had been cleared. The state party stated that further demolitions were planned and that these would be carried out under careful supervision and with full protection of the historic mandapas to which some of the contemporary structures are connected. The state party further explained that the complete demolition and relocation of the contemporary structures would promote a better understanding of the medieval bazaar near the Virupaksha temple and thereby the outstanding universal value of the property. With regards to the reported removal of the encroachments and the subsequently initiated rehabilitation program, the state party clarified in its 2013 State of Conservation report that a compensation package for affected families has been drawn up by the government of Karnataka and that the compensation of these families is in progress. The renovated structures are not left useless. They have been converted into banks, handcraft shops, art and photography museums, and police station. These are also used as shelter for the people who come to Hampi every year to celebrate the Hampi Utsav. A stage is constructed in front of the Hakka Bukka Mandapa, and bio toilets and fooding facilities are provided to these people. As the Hampi market ends, we can see a beautiful design element, Vista. As one goes on a straight path, the end point of the path should attract the person towards it. This makes the person filled with excitement and not fall under the monotonicity of straight path. This is called Vista, and here it has been created naturally by the mountains and the boulders. At the end, we can see the monolithic Nandi. For those who don't know, mono means single and lithic means stone. That is, the Nandi is carved out of a single stone, and as we saw, it is still being worshipped. And finally, when we slowly turn back, standing in front of the Nandi, we can see our beginning, the Gopuram of the Virupaksha temple, standing tall, standing high with glory.